I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading to you.
Hey YouTube.
It worked.
It worked. We were, well, I don't know if we ever really know what our videos are intended for, but we were filming hoping maybe that, you know, just show you our setting up process. And
What were we doing last night? What happened inside the camper that I said we should do a mishap?
I spilled a drink all over our mattress.
Was that what it was?
Maybe. I don't know.
Something happened and we said, hey, you know, we should do like a little quick, like, camping mishap video, like bonehead moves that we've made.
That may be helpful to you.
Maybe not all bonehead moves, but
things that have happened.
Yeah.
That we have learned from.
Preventable things, for the most part.
First trip, first time we ever put our awning out, we tried to retract it in, and it would move. It was stuck about 3/4 of the way out.
It was stuck. It was getting to be real windy, and Jen was kind of like having anxiety about the wind, I guess. Would that be a good way to say? Because you were kind of like panic. And, right?
Yes, that's my anxiety.
But it
loves
it didn't come in. And that was our first trip. So we, you know, brand new camper.
Freaking out.
Yeah, brand new camper. So happy that it had a electrical awning, because I think we mentioned in the other video, I had the hand crank awnings before. I hated them. And it didn't work. It just stopped working.
So we discovered that our cable, I don't know if everyone's is that way, where it connects, you said what's it called?
It's like an AC Delco, real simple male-female to male-female connection.
There was no slack.
Yeah.
So when the awning went out, it pulled the cables apart.
There was the way it was definitely designed. It was probably about 4 inches too short of a cable. There's no way it would work ever.
I mean, I had to like maneuver a stick into there to plug it back in so we could get the awning in, because you can hand crank it, which is good to know if your awning ever breaks.
But I think we pulled the handle too. That's how we got it in a little bit. Didn't we?
No, I got the wire.
Right, but didn't we dip it a little bit to get it in a little bit? That's how you got the wire to fit. Yeah.
But you can hand crank your awning
yes.
if you lose power for some reason. But you do need to have the right
socket.
And we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. Now we do. So
lesson learned, make sure that you have all the tools that you need if something were to go wrong in your camper.
Right.
But that was our very first trip.
Now we do have a dedicated toolbox that we keep in our tow vehicle. That is, you know, Harbor Freight, cheap tools, but, you know, for the once or twice a month that we're maybe going to use them, they work just fine. And also in like a kind of like a cable area, I guess you'd call it, we have an extra cable in case that does happen again. The next thing I would like to add, which I probably should do as soon as I could, is some extra fuses. So if any of those fuses blow, we got a reason to avoid. That would probably be a good idea. I'm glad I thought about that. I'm going to be putting it on video because now I won't forget it.
Okay.
Fuses.
Good. Fuses.
You'll never remind me.
No, I won't.
So, yeah, a good toolkit is a good thing to have. And I guess fuses. We should get some fuses. We always have zip ties and electrical tape.
And bleach. Don't forget the bleach.
And bleach.
Bleach
is a home run. Bleach is a home run.
The second thing that happened was Rick told me to make sure that all the faucets were shut when he turned on the water. He wanted me to stand in the camper. I checked the camper. I thought that they were shut. Clearly they were not, because when he turned on the water, we had a little flood. Because our camper has a...
Well, yeah, but that was also probably miscommunication, because I said make sure, and you didn't interpret that as actually making sure. You're like, you took a glance and looked and said, oh yeah, they're close. Like you didn't actually physically make sure. So okay. I probably used the wrong terminology.
Yes, it was your fault.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyways, our camp, you know, if you don't have a cover on your sink, it would have just gone into the sink. But we did have a cover on our sink, so it flooded the camper a little bit. We caught it pretty quickly, but lesson learned, make sure that all your faucets
that might not be
closed.
the right term. Physically check. all the
stand
no.
inside the camper when somebody turns on
Yes.
the water so you can make sure there's no leak.
Fortunately, Jen was, I think, inside when it did happen, and she kind of
No,
you're
I went
outside.
back.
All right, it was caught quick enough that it really wasn't as much of a disaster as it could have been. Now, that also added to the purchase of, because it got wet, and it got wet in that the wood, it went under the sink, and we have an outdoor refrigerator, and it's encased in wood, and that wood got wet. That wood's going to get moldy, so that also made us realize and think, and this is something we're going to recommend also, is we always have like this damp rid type of product. It's not that type of product. We get it from the dollar store because they're $1. Same thing. You could test it. We could maybe even show it how it does absorb water out. So yes, that did happen, right? But that also is now making us take another preventative measure to make sure that we have as little humidity in there as we can. Yeah. We have these damp rid things strategically located in the trailer that they should keep everything dry, and that wood hasn't gotten moldy or has any sign of damage or anything like that. I'd like to think that because we did react and put that product in there, maybe it helped. I don't know.
Take a trip to the dollar store. They have lots of useful things. Just walk around. You'll find something
that damp rid stuff works pretty well, though. I mean, we keep it in there, and we could see water collecting in there. So,
what else?
So happened? It was a mishap. Lesson learned. Product malfunction. Lesson learned. Tools, possibly fuses. That was a good thing.
Go ahead.
We didn't. Where we live, it's relatively warm, but we did not fully drain the white pipes underneath, and our outdoor shower head cracked.
Oh yeah. That was.
Thank goodness that's all it was.
Yeah. But we had one day that unexpectedly early in the season that it dropped really cold, and so definitely winterize your camper. We are in South Carolina, and our dealer said we didn't need to do
a full winter.
Yeah, but
we didn't need to put the chemicals in there.
Right, just blow out your lines.
Yeah, and we had planned to, not to interrupt you, but we had planned to do it that Friday or that next day off, and just within us saying that, and then 3 days the temperature dropped super quick. And like Jen said, we're in South Carolina where it's relatively
mild.
It's mild year round, and we do camp year round. But we camp. I think the only month we didn't camp was in December.
Yeah.
And that's just because it's a crazy time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But we had extra time off after the fireworks stand in January, February 1. We go year round, so we don't really,
But there was enough time in between, and we should have blown out the lines, and it cracked our outdoor shower.
Yeah. Maybe that was in December.
Might have been. I don't remember. Another thing that is kind of scary, and I learned, please make sure before you start raising your tongue jack, we have to bring our camper up pretty high because low battery. Well, then we won't get boring and long-winded. We have to bring our camper up pretty high, the way our hitch is on our truck, to get it off. Make sure you have your chocks behind your wheels. We discovered this when our camper was stolen, actually, so it was, not entirely a dumb thing.
We were very emotional at that point, I think.
Yeah, we were trying to recover our camper with some tow guys, and the camper rolled. Luckily, there were 4 gentlemen there that, were able to grab it and control the situation. But when you're raising your tongue jack, make sure that your chocks are in first.
Yes.
Because even, it's a heavy thing. So even a little bit of unlevel ground, it might start to roll.
And we weren't even really that high up. We were in the process of raising it, and I mean, it was on a stump. We really, like I said, we were just very emotional from that day. So
bad situation.
Make sure you chalk everything.
But it was a lesson learned, and now we make sure that they're in before we do anything.
Another mishap that we would mention: our camper was stolen.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you didn't watch our video, the precautions that we have taken now, but that will be another lesson learned. If you're keeping your camper in storage, I can't stress this enough. Nothing is secure 100%. Do whatever you can think, whatever makes you feel comfortable that you can prevent it from happening. Check out our other video, how to make your camper Fort Knox.
And really we know they're not foolproof things. We've had some comments, that there's ways to jam things, jam the videos, and but what the police officer told us and what makes sense to us is the more precautions that you take it might make them go to another camper or not do it if you can slow them down. You know, it's everything they can still get your camper if they want to, but it will slow them down and might save your camper. So.
And a good example would be we just installed a electric tongue jack on our trailer in the storage facility right before this trip, and while we were doing that, the cameras were picking up motion. Although we were outside the camper, we were jostling it enough that the cameras were picking up some kind of motion detection, and we were getting alerts on our phone.
Even if they get it, we'll at least know.
Yeah.
You know, we'll know. So. And something that we did this trip, which really stinks, our 7-pin cable from our camper to our truck is long. I usually hook that up. Rick did it this time. And I usually wind it in a way that it takes up the slack. He didn't know that.
I didn't notice that.
So it dragged on the ground, and now we need to replace our cable.
Or fix it. I think we can fix it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, we have to fix it. But the lesson learned there is, you know, if you have rolls that you always do, just still double check each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, safety.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always checking the brakes and making sure that works, but, you know, double check all the other things that maybe you do all the time.
You know what? I think we've been doing it now for, like we said, almost a year, and unfortunately, you know, the first trip that we took we were very thorough in what we were doing, you know, and as time went on, we got more comfortable in what we were doing. And me not winding up that cable and Jen not checking is probably a perfect example of probably feeling a little bit too comfortable. We probably felt a little bit too comfortable. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jen's got that, I got this. We got this, we got that. And then we're done and we're out. Because, you know, you always want to get on the road quick. Or we want to always get on the road quick. We do just take a lot of short trips, so time is kind of important.
We work, you know, a 13-hour shift, double shift the day before we leave, so we're always rushing.
Yes.
And it is really important not to rush safety. So.
No, there's
take
just
that
a bonehead.
Time to double check.
The bonehead mishap. You know, I probably should have taken note and said, "Oh, that looks long." But like I said, I was probably doing something, and so let me plug this in while we're doing it, and then just saw it was plugged in, and we didn't even think. Again, the comfort level might have been too great. Would probably be the best way to say it, and we just didn't check.
So if you're new like us, just expect things to go wrong.
Yeah.
Our first long trip, our fridge broke. We'd never have a problem with the fridge before. The first time we really needed it because we were gone for a week, it broke. But just, you know, go with it. You can always figure out a solution.
Yeah.
You know, don't let it ruin your trip. Just have fun and learn from it along the way.
If things do happen to break and go wrong and stuff like that, YouTube's a great source for how to repair stuff, how to fix stuff. I use it often.
Yeah.
I'm an awesome reverse engineer. I could take something apart, put it back together the same way. If you have that capabilities, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that will help you, you know, install electric tongue jacks and, you know, maybe do a mod that you're looking to do or add this or add that. We've done a couple of little things here and there and nothing really crazy, but, you know, there's plenty of help out there if something does break. Don't, you know, immediately call warranty or dealership or lock your camper up for a month to get something fixed.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the awning we learned that from YouTube.
Don't void your warranty either.
But the awning we learned from YouTube.
Yeah.
That you know, that was how we could repair that. You know, we didn't know how to hand crank it.
It's a great resource.
You know,
we always appreciate the comments that you guys are giving us and helping us because we are still definitely learning every single trip. We're very new.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Bonehead didn't wrap up the wire. You know, now I got to spend 3 hours replacing it, or you know, an hour trying to fix it because I was too comfortable for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. We're gonna go take our boat out.
Camp on. Stop recording. Stop recording.